All right, I got 7 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. I will now call the January 27th, 2025 Erlanger Board of Adjustment hearing to order, and we'll take a roll call to determine a quorum. Mr. Terry Farrow.
Present.
Mr. John McVeigh.
Present.
Mr. Noah Osterhag.
Present.
Mr. Eric Rolfe.
Present.
And myself, Bob Whalen, present. We have a quorum. Gentlemen, you have received a copy of the minutes for the it was November 25th, 2024 Board of Adjustment hearing. Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made at this time?
None.
And seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for the minutes be adopted as presented.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Mr. Rolfe makes a motion, and do we have a second?
I second.
Mr. Farrell, those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Being none, minutes approved. Turn that one off. Are there any postponements of any scheduled business items to be made at this time?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Normally before the public hearing, I like to just kind of walk through what kind of how the public hearing goes, but I see that we only have one signed in to speak. Is there anybody else that wants to speak today? Be none, good. So it'll be pretty easy. We'll just hear from the applicant and we'll just go from there. So I'll go ahead and now open the public hearing where we have one item on this evening's agenda, and we have Mr. Brett Smith, the applicant, signed in to speak. And if you bear with me here, the first item on tonight's agenda is BOA 24-0025-474 Erlanger Road, applicant Brett Smith on behalf of Ideal Realty, Inc. The request is a conditional use request for a tattoo or body art service in the mixed-use zone of the Erlanger zoning ordinance. In summary, the applicant proposes to open a tattoo or body art service studio with an existing strip mall. And we have Mr. Sheets today. Were the appropriate notifications made?
Notifications were made per KRS 100.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And to the board members, any conflicts of interest?
None.
Being none. And did any site visits to declare?
No.
Being none as well. And Mr. Sheets, if you would, just swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much. And for the record, please state your name and your position with PDS.
My name is Cody Sheets, Associate Planner with PDS.
Thank you very much. And do you have a copy of your?
I do.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And the floor is yours.
So as was stated, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a tattoo studio in the MU or mixed use zone. The applicant is proposing to rent a site that is one section of a strip mall with a shared parking lot for the tattoo studio. The site in question is approximately 0.46 acres and is highlighted in turquoise there on the map. It is part of an individual parcel, although it does constitute part of a larger strip mall. It's located on the eastern side of Erlanger Road. The site is currently a vacant 1,587 square foot store, which was formerly occupied by a food catering service. The entire building contains 6 shops with a total of 10,406 square feet. Here we have a Google Street View of the site. This is from April 2024. The red arrow shows where the proposed tattoo studio would be located at. The site in question is zoned MU or mixed use, and the surrounding adjacent properties are predominantly mixed use as well. The existing land use is vacant/commercial. The surrounding area is primarily commercial with some office, institutional, and single and multifamily residential parcels further out. A little bit of history. On November 7th, 2024, the Kenton County Planning Commission gave a favorable recommendation on the proposed text amendment to the Erlanger zoning ordinance, which added tattoo or body art services as a conditional use within the MU zone. On December 3rd, 2024, the city of Erlanger approved the text amendment to add tattoo or body art services businesses as a conditional use within the MU zone. Here we have the first part of a site plan, which was submitted by the applicant. It shows the entire strip mall. The specific part of the strip mall is highlighted in red. And this was an additional site plan which was submitted. The entrance is highlighted in red. There will be a retail space which is highlighted in green. A drawing room near the rear of the building, which is highlighted in yellow, as well as 4 tattoo booths. So as was stated, the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to open a tattoo studio in a single parcel as part of a strip mall in a mixed-use zone. Section 4.05C of the Erlanger zoning ordinance states that tattoo or body art services are not permitted within 500 feet of another tattoo or body art service use measured by a straight line in any direction from the lot line of another use. There are no other body art or tattoo studios within 500 feet of the use. The 500 feet buffer constitutes the majority of the MU zone, as well as extending a little bit further out into some of the residential zones as well. Section 10.05 of the Erlanger zoning ordinance states that a commercial use of a tattoo parlor must contain 1 off-street parking spot for every 300 square feet. Within the strip mall, there are 28 total spots which are shared amongst the businesses. PDS did do a calculation to see how many spots were being occupied by all of the businesses within the strip mall, and there were 20 that were required, including the 6 that would be needed for the tattoo parlor. Before any conditional use is granted, the board must find the plan be in compliance with KRS 100. And the board shall have the power to hear and decide applications for conditional use permits to allow the proper integration into the community of uses which are specifically named in the zoning regulations, which may be suitable only in specific locations in the zone, only if certain conditions are met. And the board shall have the right to compel offending structures of uses removed at the cost of the violator and may have judgments in personam for such costs. Staff is providing a favorable recommendation. We do find that such use will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or general welfare of persons residing or working in the vicinity or injurious to property or improvements in the vicinity. The 500-foot spacing requirement allows for the proper integration of this use by ensuring that there will not be a proliferation of tattoo studios within the area. The retail space is also vacant, so the tattoo studio will contribute to the reuse of an underutilized property. And I'd be more than happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheets. Any questions for Cody? There are none. Thank you very much. We'll now hear from the applicant. Mr. Smith, if you would come on up to the podium, please. And if you would, just, your microphone is on, so when you're speaking, just speak into the mic, and I need to swear you in, so please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And thank you very much. And for the record, would you please state your name and your address?
My name is Brett Smith. My address is 107 Locust Street, Erlanger, Kentucky.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
I bought a house in Erlanger in 2017 and had began a family in 2021. When my son was born, I began walking around Erlanger a lot more, taking them on walks, visiting the restaurants and stuff up in the area. Even though I grew up around here, I never really focused on Stam's Market. It's not something that flashed to me, but having been in and around and wanting to be closer to my family, Stam's started to seem like something that could be a plausibility for a tattoo shop. I learned to tattoo in this city. I worked for Craig at Mother's for 6 years. From there, I've traveled as far as Australia for tattooing and over much of the continental United States to try and learn and understand my craft. And I think being able to bring that here will bring something different than what is already in this area. But yeah, that's like what I got. I just want to make tattoos close to home, so.
All right, any questions for Mr. Smith? Nope. Thank you very much.
Cool, thanks.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And with Mr. Smith being the only one speaking today, we will go ahead and close the public comment portion of the hearing, and we'll open discussion to the board members. Anything to discuss? Any comments? I think it's pretty straightforward. So we'll go ahead and we will close the discussion by the board members, and then I will invite any board member to make a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to consider a motion with the following reference: BOA 240052, conditional use request for a tattoo studio in the existing strip mall in the mixed-use zone. I move to approve the conditional use permit based on the facts and consideration contained in the staff report and based on the testimony of staff and witnesses present at the public hearing, and find that the conditional use permit, such use will not be detrimental to the health, safety, or general welfare of the persons residing or working in the vicinity, or injurious to the property or improvements in the vicinity. The 500-foot space requiring allows for the proper integration of this use by ensuring that there will be no proliferation of this use type. This retail space is vacant, so the tattoo studio will contribute to the reuse of an underutilized property.
Thank you very much, Mr. McVeigh. Again, the motion is to approve the conditional use request. Do we have a second?
I second.
Mr. Osterhag seconds, and again, a vote of yes is to approve the conditional use request, a vote of no is to decline. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a roll call. Mr. McVeigh?
Yes.
Mr. Osterhag?
Yes.
Mr. Farrow?
Yes.
Mr. Rolfe?
Yes.
And Mr. Whalen, yes. Motion has passed unanimously, and that is it. We thank you very much for your time. You're welcome. All right, I will now go ahead and close the public hearing portion of tonight's meeting. Are there any preliminary hearings to discuss?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any rehearing appeals to discuss?
Again, no, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And any board items to discuss? Anybody? There being none. Are there any staff items to discuss, Mr. Sheets?
Doesn't probably look like any cases for February. You may have something in March, though, coming up.
Okay, very good. Anything from the audience? I think everyone's happy, we're good. In pending the next meeting, so I will now open the floor for a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Mr. Farrell, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Osterhag, those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Being none, we are adjourned. Thank you.